Welcome to this special edition of Money, Money, Money. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay. Unfortunate weekend developments and the loss of yet another bright young life have once again put the spotlight on mental health. While so much time is spent talking about physical health, weight loss, fat diets, etc., do we spend adequate time putting the spotlight on mental well-being? And more importantly, how does the health insurance sector look at mental ailments or depression? Is it even covered by your health insurance policy? Well, these are some important questions that we have been getting over the last couple of days on several social media platforms, and we thought it's a good idea to bring in the experts to answer them. We have today with us S. Prakash, MD of Star Health and Allied Insurance, Rahul Agrawal, CEO of Ideal Insurance Brokers, and Anup Rao, MD and CEO of Future Generali India. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me on this special edition of the show. It's extremely sad that we are talking under the circumstances that we are, but I think it's important to raise the question, how is the financial world, the health insurance world, even looking at mental illness? Now, I just want to set the record straight for viewers. In 2019, that is last year, just some background, the insurance regulator came out with standardization of health insurance, and the regulator made it very clear that from now onwards, from April 2020 or October 2020 onwards, all policies must comply and must not refuse giving health insurance to someone just because they may attract some kind of mental illness later. But let's understand these details with the experts. First, to you, Rahul, what is the prevailing situation right now? How does the health insurance world, in your opinion, look at mental illness?
Okay, so at present, Surabhi, as you already said, that so before the regulations have come last year, as of now, mental health illness is not covered by most of the insurance companies. In fact, there are only maybe one or two products which cover. But by and large, none of the health insurance companies or products cover mental illness. But the government has, of course, changed it, as you already said. So from this October onwards, the insurance companies will have to, cover mental illness and any diagnosis that has to be done. And it's a very welcome move because I'm sure all of us know that depression is a very huge problem which is prevalent in our country, but there's total lack of awareness. So I really welcome IDA's move to now include it as a part of the treatment under health insurance.
Okay, let me bring in the industry participants themselves. We have Mr. Prakash with us. So in your experience, sir, how much has the industry evolved? Because if I remember the dates correctly, October onwards, all policies cannot deny giving insurance only because someone might become mentally ill in the future. Isn't that right?
You are right. Actually, it is a very welcome move by the regulator that mental illness have to be covered under health insurance, and the insurers have to look at mental illness like any other disease. They have to treat mental illness like any other disease. How I treat a heart disease or a hernia or a disc problem, I have to treat mental illness like any other disease. So it's a very welcome move. And since as you rightly said, since last October, once regulator mandates companies to cover mental illness, we have started covering mental illness. We are trying to publish our underwriting philosophy in our website, and we want to cover mental illness, but there are two types of mental illness related claims. One is directly related to mental illness, other is indirectly related to mental illness. Before there was a lack of clarity, but with now regulator trying to mandate mental illness to be covered like any other disease, there is much clarity for the people suffering with mental illness. And it is a very welcome move. And as a doctor, I welcome this move. And I am very confident that thousands of people are going to be benefited because of this.
So, Dr. Prakash, if you could, elaborate on that and explain this to us. You said two types of mental illness, because the problem is the overarching the regulation sounds very nice, that it should be covered. The problem always with insurance comes in the fine print, right? So, what will be covered and what might not be covered?
Close to 15% of the people in India may be suffering from some form of mental illness. I don't know how many are aware of. But out of these 15%, 10 to 15% of these 15% may require hospitalization and care. The type of mental illness in India starts from basic anxiety to depression, mania of diseases, schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, and that sort. But most common people suffer from anxiety and depression. Health insurance companies now, they come forward to cover these people. Only thing is, at the time of proposal, the individual should disclose. The individual should disclose, and if required, the health insurer can do a screening to assess the adequacy of the medical ability and then decide on the waiting period to be covered. At any point of time, we cannot say no to a person suffering from mental illness, but we can decide on the waiting period and we can impose sublimits if there is a addiction. There's a potential for addiction to this proposal. Then we can probably impose a sublimit.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me also bring in Anup Rao into the conversation. Anup, thanks for joining. I know you have a very busy schedule, but this was a very important conversation to have. You must have been hearing Dr. Prakash as well there. And that's the thing. You know, there are two categories of people. Today, I am a healthy individual, and maybe in the future, tomorrow, I contract some kind of, mental ailment. Then at least I can't be denied. But what options are available for people who have spoken out today and maybe even gone in for a diagnosis? Maybe they've gone in for some sort of a, psychiatric treatment. Will they be denied just because there's a pre-existing condition?
So I think, that's a very good question. But then again, to add to what Dr. Prakash said, see, the fact is societally, we don't pay enough importance to mental health, and it's rather unfortunate. And the numbers are staggeringly high. I mean, I think all of us in the workplace know the kind of stresses people go through. The emotions are haywire, the kind of difficult days they have. And it's sad that, people can't seek professional assistance with the help of insurance. Now, what the regulation dated 27 September 2019 says that you can't exclude, mental illness. Yes, pre-existing conditions are not covered, and there's a waiting period for that, as one had mentioned. So if one is already undergoing treatment, so there'll be a waiting period or an exclusion, and the person will not be able to get covered adequately. So that is completely correct. But this is also true, Surabhi, for ailments which are physical in nature. Now, somebody who's got a pre-existing condition, say diabetes, BP, or so on and so forth, or existing heart condition, also does not get covered. So one is, I think what we should really celebrate is that we are getting mental illness on equal footing with physical ailments, right? And that is what the industry, the regulator is attempting to do today.
I take your point there, Anup. Just a question on the waiting periods. How long might they be? Currently, the products that are being designed or are in the market, if one does disclose, they have some kind of history of, a mental disorder or anxiety or stress. How long can the waiting periods be?
So, for instance, look, usually it's 2 to 3 years, and it's an evolving market. There are also some companies which have zero waiting period. Here I'm talking about physical ailments, and actually over a period of time that the difference between physical and mental ailments will get blurred. So you could have, and let's also give the industry the benefit of doubt. This is new to us. This is something that just started. Even the ecosystem is yet to develop. If you look at the way we were servicing physical ailments and illnesses earlier, even that's been through a process of evolution. Now, today we have companies which, for instance, don't have zero waiting period. They cover you right from day one. I think over a period of time, you will get products which cover health inside out, physical and the mental. But let's just give it some time. Today, in case you look at congruence between physical ailments and mental illnesses, you're talking about a waiting period of 2 to 3 years. But I'm sure that there will be outliers and exceptions to this as we proceed or as we progress.
Okay, fair enough. Rahul, let me toss this back to you because you deal with clients. A lot of people who are buying insurance. Any examples you can cite? Are there companies which actually honor their commitment and are willing to look at health insurance, mental health in a more holistic manner?
So, Surabhi, since it was not covered by any of the insurance companies, so there's no question of any honoring or such. So we had, of course, had a lot of clients who used to have depression problems or mental issues. And we have never found insurance companies which were ready to accept the cover. Okay. Now let's also understand that it had to come. Now, if you look at the Western countries, if you talk about US, just the drug market in US for depression drugs is almost $30 billion. I'm not even talking about the cost of doctors or hospitalization. So, it may not be as bad as it in India, but it is very bad, because when we have so many customers and, we do get to know, right? But unfortunately, it was not there. So there's no question of honoring. But now, since IRD has made it mandatory, I'm sure a lot of insurance companies will come with a lot of new products. A lot of evolvement will happen. It is a little early time, but I'm sure a lot of products will come. For example, previously even cancer was not covered by most of the insurance company. Diabetes was not covered. Now there are specific products which covers diabetes from day one, or even people who have recovered from cancer, right? So this is an excellent thing to happen. This was much needed because I don't have any data to back myself, but India have millions and millions of patients who are facing depression issues and who needs a proper health insurance.
Sure. I just want to quote what the IRDA circular said. The regulator's circular, which came out in 2019 September, said, and I quote, that health policies can now no longer exclude impairment of person's intellectual faculties by usage of drugs, stimulants or depressants prescribed by a medical practitioner. So now, if I could go back to you, Doctor, what would this mean? Is this a very narrow definition? It's basically saying that if you are undergoing any treatment for depression, if you're taking antidepressants, you can still get coverage. But what about stress issues, overall anxiety issues? Will they get excluded? I'm just trying to understand if this definition is a little too narrow.
Am I supposed to reply?
Stress and anxiety, primarily, it is very difficult to measure the disease and the impact, but they can lead on to a lot of cardiac ailments, or impaired immunity in this COVID scenario may also be due to stress.
Yeah.
So stress and anxiety can cause a lot of secondary consequences, and these cannot be related to stress to decline any insurance claim. So you need not bother about stress or anxiety. A diagnosed psychiatric ailment, which has been diagnosed, and if someone is already under treatment, all these days they have been denied an health insurance cover. But now, health insurance is 18. Because regulator mandates that mental illness has to be dealt with like any other disease. So they have the privilege of getting a health insurance cover in India, number one. Number two, if somebody has already got a health insurance cover, and unfortunately they develop some mental ailment, it is like an accident. It can happen to anyone. If somebody develops a mental ailment, particularly in this area of post-COVID, where people succumb to it, they are very vulnerable. They are not able to cope up with their stress and their job loss or their revenue losses. So they are vulnerable to the mental illness. Somebody who has got a health insurance and who contracts any mental illness, they will also be covered. There should be no question asked. We cannot say no. We cannot say no to any person with mental illness asking for a health insurance cover. This is a very, very welcome move in India.
Okay.
Only thing is this awareness.
Awareness should grow, sir. I mean, awareness, that's the reason why we are trying to have these dialogues, so that awareness increases. People go out and start asking the questions because products are being developed. Anu, before we let you go, my question to you is pretty much the same. I mean, is there a risk that we'll kind of get lost in the definitions of what comprises depression or anxiety, or what qualifies as mental ailment? And another question that a lot of our viewers asked is that, it doesn't require hospitalization. A lot of the treatment for mental ailments could be long-term treatment, but not necessarily hospitalization. So then what will insurance offer?
I think those are very good questions. Look, I mean, again, to give this context, the fact that the treatments which didn't require hospitalization were not covered earlier, in the early stage of the industry evolution. And, and then treatment for depression, anxiety, all that we spoke about may not require hospitalization, could require
Okay, I think we're having a bit of a trouble with the telecom lines with both our guests. Let's do one thing. Let's take a very quick break and then we'll come back and get that question answered. Can insurance companies even cover OPD treatment for mental ailments, stress and anxiety? Back in a moment. Welcome back to this special conversation. We're talking about how the health insurance world looks at mental health and mental ailment. Anup, we lost that line, so that question to you again. What does the insurance world have to offer, given that treatment for mental illness doesn't necessarily require hospitalization? In fact, it doesn't most of the time.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And if you notice in the past, even for physical illnesses, we insist on hospitalization, then we move to OPD procedures over a period of time. Even the extent of coverage, what's covered, our painkillers covered, our supplements covered, some of these things also started getting covered. Again, Surabhi, I think it's a process of evolution. When everyone starts offering this product, and because they have to, I think over a period of time, the quality of the product will become superior, the coverage will be more inclusive, it will be more exhaustive. And I strongly believe that, you will have to, in case you're offering coverage for mental illness, you will have to offer OPD or consultation charges. I think that, in case I were to put my money on it, I'm willing to wager my last rupee that's where you will see the end state in the next couple of years or so. So maybe the starting point is going to be very different, wherein we insist on hospitalization like we did in the past for physical ailments. But eventually, that's a trajectory that we're going to follow. There's no question about it.
Okay, that would be good. Yes, that evolution would be good. But that brings me to the question of cost as well. Dr. Prakash, sir, now that we are getting these comprehensive policies, standardized policies, thanks to the 2019 landmark regulations, cost of health insurance seems to be going up. I know I paid a lot more for renewing my policy this year, and there's COVID as well. What kind of cost escalation should people be prepared for over the next year or two?
Subsequent to COVID-19, we are not planning to have any cost escalation. We think it is not fair because this is the context when every individual in India thinks about health insurance, and we want health insurance to penetrate in a bigger way. So we are not going to increase the cost in this year, but we cannot blame the insurer for the increasing cost. The increasing cost is in proportion to the medical inflation. So health insurers manage the cost according to whatever has been factored in the premium that has been collected from a customer. But when there is a increasing, say, medical inflation today due to COVID, the cost of medical expenses have increased several fold because of the personal protective equipments.
Sure. Sir, can you give us a range?
Spent on biomedical waste.
Sir, can you give us a range? I'm very short on time. I just have 2 minutes left. So can you give us a range for which people should just get mentally prepared, over the next 1.5 years in terms of premiums going up?
So the approximate rate, it's around 14,000 rupees, a premium for to cover a family. It should be around 40,000 rupees, and insurers are not going to increase the premium in this year. So this is the right time for people to come forward and get an insurance cover if they don't have one.
Okay. Anup, same question to you. 10%, 15%? As policies get more comprehensive, exclusions go away, how much more will we have to shell out?
Look, I have a slightly different view. I think what we need to understand is that our ecosystem is still underdeveloped. And as our network of hospitals increase, as capacity builds up, some of this will have a downward pressure on cost over a period of time. So in the short term, yes, there could be an increase, and I can't hazard a guess on how much it will go up. But eventually, I would expect base level care rates to actually come down because there'll be democratization of access to services over a period of time in this country. Even if the prices for the customers today, for example, people pay in India for universal coverage under the central government schemes, is a fraction of what they pay for similar quality anywhere else in the world. And I think the democratization will also take place because of the private sector. So I have a very contrarian view here, to be honest.
Well, we'd like to see that come through. That'll be good news for all of us who, buy health insurance. Rahul, let me take some closing thoughts with you as well. You interact with companies across the board. How do you see this product evolving as the new guidelines come into effect 1st October 2020 onwards, provided there's no, pushback from the regulator? How do you see the landscape?
So I think this will actually be good for the insurance companies as well, because they will actually capture a lot of new customers who have not been able to take a health insurance because of mental illness. Now insurance companies are in the business of risk taking. They are not averse of risk. They just need to price it properly, right? So this is only going to add a lot of customers to their kitty. So I see it as a welcome move both for the insurance companies as well as the clients. Now, regarding the involvement of product, I think that we will have to see. But yes, there will be a lot of products which will have to come on the OPD side, because we understand that in mental in such cases where the mental health is concerned, hospitalization is not very common. People depend more on drugs and doctor's advice and therapy,
Sure.
right? So I'm sure a lot of companies will come with OPD products which covers the treatment even without hospitalization. But then
Sure.
we'll have to wait and see. But I'm very sure that a lot of new products will come over this for the next 2 years.
Okay, the last word should be with the doctor. So let me go back to Dr. Prakash, who also, of course, heads Star Health Insurance. Dr. Prakash, so to all the hundreds of people out there, this is a time where at least conversations are happening on social media, on platforms like ours as well. What would you like to say to people who are still hesitant in coming out, seeking help, and talking about these issues for the fear of, I don't know, stigma, for the fear of cost? What's your final word of advice?
Food, cloth, and shelter have to be graduated to food, cloth, shelter, and health insurance. So I think this is the right time everyone should consider having a adequate and appropriate health insurance cover.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we will wrap it up on that note. Thank you very much for joining in. And hopefully this is a conversation that gets people thinking about mental wellness as much as we talk about our physical well-being as well. Thank you very much for taking out the time and participating. Do keep it with us. We need to wind up this conversation now, but news and updates continue on CNBC TV 18.